and welcome back. This is the FITNEST programming. This is week 8, day 4. Our focus today is the lower body, wrapping up that total body focus for the week. Now today we are going to be doing 2 rounds all the way through with our stretching piece. However, for the first round, we are going to stay focused on one leg. For the second round, we're going to focus on the other leg. So to begin, we're going to do 10 knee hugs on one leg. Pick whether you're right or left. I'm going to start with my right here. I'm going to give myself a nice little knee hug, relax that leg back down, picking that same leg back up, relaxing again for 10 repetitions. Then I'm going to go into 10 quad pulls on this same leg, keeping that knee pointed down, stretching out that front of the hip, making sure I stay nice and tall. Again, 10 times on this leg. Then we're going to take that leg, that same leg we've been working with, and step it forward into a lunge position, coming down to the ground. And from here, we're going to drop that chest as low as we can. Reach that other leg back behind you if you need to. We're going to get nice and low. If you can, get those elbows all the way down. We're opening up that hip, getting into it nice and low. We're going to hold it here for 20 seconds. Then we're going to stretch that leg out, shift our hips back. Leg's going to go nice and straight, and we're going to reach for those toes and hold it here for 20 seconds in that hamstring stretch. After those 20 seconds, we're going to cross that leg in front, dropping those hips down into that pigeon stretch. So from the side here, the other leg is going straight back behind me. My hips are square to the ground. Holding here in that pigeon stretch for 20 seconds. Then we're going to stand it on up. And I'm going to do 10 cowboys on this same leg. So the knee's going to come up, out, down, up, in, down. All right. Opening up those hips for 10 repetitions. Then you're going to go through it again, doing all of those same movements on the opposite leg or your left leg. So again, the knee hugs on this side, followed by the quad pulls, back into that runner's lunge, getting nice and low for 20 seconds, 20 seconds in that hamstring stretch, crossing it over, 20 seconds in the pigeon stretch, and then coming up, and 10 cowboys on this leg as well. Once you're done with those, then we've got a single round for our muscle activation. We're going to do 10 single leg butt kickers on one, then 10 on the other. So for the butt kickers, I'm starting off nice and tall, bringing one heel up, back down, up, back down. It kind of gets a little bit of a jog position here, getting one leg at a time. Then the same thing on the other leg for those 10 reps. Getting that heel up, and then the high knees on a single leg. All right, knee up, other side. Then we're going into those Frankenstein kicks. So here we're going to keep those legs nice and straight, bring one leg up and reaching with the opposite hand. You can step into it a little bit. We're going to do a total of 10, so that's going to be 5 kicks with each leg. Then we're going to go into 30 seconds of jogging in place. Just for 30 seconds, get those legs pumping. We're going to finish up our warm-up with 10 crouching side steps each direction. Now, if you're like me and your space is limited from side to side, we're just going to get 10 steps each direction as best we can. You don't have to do all 10 one way and then all 10 the other. I'm going to crouch down. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I've got another 6 to do to each side. Does that make sense? That's going to finish up our warm-up. We're going to go into our strength. Our strength today is also broken down into 2 sections. So you're going to do one section, all 3 rounds, do the second section, all 3 rounds. And I have it broken up this way as the first section is standing, the second section is seated, all right? That way we're not getting up and down and up and down and up and down. So this first section for our strength piece is going to be 3 rounds, 5 single leg squats to a chair, 10 lateral leg raises, 10 single leg RDLs, and 15 calf raises. So I know these single leg squat to a chair sound terrifying. Trust me, this is going to help strengthen those knees and those hips like nothing else. The goal here is to find a high surface. I highly recommend starting with the armrest of a couch. Nice and high to begin with. What you're going to do is you're going to take one leg, reach it out slightly in front of you. The other leg, you're going to bend at the knee, dip the hips back just until you touch that surface and come back up. All right, again, legs going to go out, go down, tap the surface, and back up. Now, if that's too easy, you can find a lower portion right here. So if I'm doing this again, legs going to go out, going to come down, tap the surface, and back up. All right, play with the height a little bit. I do want these to be slightly challenging, but they shouldn't be painful. You shouldn't be wobbling around or having to feel like you've got to grab onto something to stabilize. All right, so start high and get lower with those 3 rounds if you can. 5 single leg squats to the chair on each side, followed by 10 lateral leg raises on each. So staying nice and tall, working here, lifting the leg up to the side. The toes are staying pointed straight out in front of me, focusing on the outside of that glute. 10 reps on the other side. Then we're going in for those 10 single leg RDLs. So here, I'm going to set up, start nice and tall. I'm going to take one leg, start to reach it back behind me, hinging at my hips, balancing through my ankle to reach the ground in front, and returning to a standing position. All right, this is going to help strengthen those ankles, those calves, those hip flexors, and that stability. Again, touching the ground and back up. We want to try to keep that leg that's reaching out behind us as straight as we can. That's going to challenge us for a little bit more stability. 10 reps on one side, 10 reps on the other. Then we'll wrap up this piece with 15 calf raises. Now, if you have a step you can stand on, fantastic. If not, you can just do it from the ground. 15 repetitions, coming up on our toes, flexing those calves, squeezing those glutes at the top for 15 reps. Work through that twice more for a total of 3 rounds. Once you have the 3 rounds of that top portion, then we're going to be taking it to the ground. Our seated work for today for our lower body is going to be 15 glute bridges, 10 seated single leg lifts, and 10 clams on each side. So those glute bridges, we've done these many times. Relaxing back, driving the hips up as high as we can, and back down. Now we want to make sure we're not just humping it out, but we want to make sure we're extending all the way up as high as we can, returning to the ground with control for 15 reps. Then we'll sit it up. We're going to open up the legs just a little bit here. Our goal is to sit as tall as we can. Lift one leg, bring it to the center, lift the other, bring that to the center as well. And then work our way back out. All right, 10 times all the way through. So there's 1, to the insides, to the outsides. There's 2. This is going to strengthen those hip flexors and those quads. Finishing up our seated portion are those clamps. So we're going to come to our side, stacking those knees. My feet are going to be together, and I'm just going to open up my knees, squeezing those glutes, and relaxing back down. Opening up at the knees, squeezing those glutes, relaxing back down. 10 reps on this side, nice and easy. We'll flip it over and do 10 reps on this side as well. Again, doing 3 rounds, 15 glute bridges, 10 seated single leg lifts, and 10 clams on each side. So those 2 portions, 3 rounds of each. Finish the top for all 3 rounds, finish the lower portion for all 3 rounds, and then that will wrap up your strength. After that, It's going to be our final conditioning piece for this week. And today's conditioning is going to be an AMRAP, which means you are going to set a timer for 12 minutes and you're going to work as efficiently as you can for the full 12 minutes. Work all the way through the list. When you get to the bottom, start back up at the top. Keep going in that fashion for the full 12 minutes. You might get halfway through one round at the end, and that's okay. Your goal is to keep moving through these movements as efficiently as possible for that full 12 minutes. Our movements today are going to be some fun ones. I've added in a new one today that I wanted to teach you, and that's going to be our very first movement. To break it all down, we're going to do 10 Heismans, 15 air or chair squats, 20 ice skaters, 25 seated knee tuck-ups, bringing that midline back in, and then 30 jumping jacks. So the Heisman, we start off to the side, off to one side. We're going to bring the knee up, down, bring the other knee up, down, and bring that knee up again and down. All right, it should be nice and quick. It should look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so again, we can bring that knee up, down, up, and up again, down, up. All right, so ideally, this leg should be lifted, and that's going to be the direction we're going to be going. So down, bring it up, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down, bring it up, and switch. Down, up, down, up, down, up, and now we're switching. Again, nice and quick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, getting those knees up nice and high with a slight lateral movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 5 each direction. All right. Air squats or chair squats. Feet shoulder width apart, chest tall, either tapping that chair or couch and coming right back up, or stepping away and getting as low as we can for 15 reps. Then 20 ice skaters. Again, starting off to one side, hopping across, reaching that toe. The other foot's reaching back behind us for this lateral movement. For 20 reps, 10 to each side. 25 seated knee tuck-ups. So we're coming back to the couch here. I'm going to extend my legs out. Ooh. Bring them up. Extend out. Bring them up for 25. If you prefer to do that on the ground, you're more than welcome to. Again, from here, extend out, bring them up, extend out, bring them up for 25 reps, finishing off with the 30 jumping jacks. Nice and tall, arms overhead, return it for 30 repetitions. Again, this is going to be constant work for 12 minutes, so get as many rounds as you can. The 10 Heismans, 15 air or chair squats, 20 ice skaters, 25 seated knee tuck-ups, and 30 jumping jacks. I hope you guys have fun. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you for week 9 next week.